Sorry, change of person. I'm Gabriel Pindar, not Carlos. I'm the COO of the company. Carlos is the CFO of the company. But I was the person coming to this meeting. So thank you very much for this opportunity to present. NeoLithium. Most of the people around the area have already seen our presentation. We just bring in an update. Why NeoLithium and why lithium at this stage? Mainly, we're bringing to the market a very high grade, very low impurities, and targeting to be the lowest cost producer in the world for lithium carbonate. We still believe the story of electromobility and stationary power, it's inevitable. It's coming in the next years. And whether lithium has a high ramp up or a fast ramp up or a slow ramp up is what we're talking about, but not necessarily that it will have no ramp up. So very quickly, most of the brine producers in the world are located in this area, in between Argentina, Chile, and Bolivia. And then what differentiates one from the others in general is the chemistry of each of the salars, which is not the same. So there is no one process that you can use to process any of these salars. Each salar is different, and each company has to develop their own process. So we have been very lucky to secure an entire salar. We are the only company in the world that owns the complete salar. We don't have any neighbors. There are no other companies in our salar. Most of the other salars are shared by 1, 2, 3, 5, up to 10 different companies. So this is a little bit like oil and gas. So you're extracting a liquid, you're extracting a brine. So if you have neighbors, you're going to have some issues in who is the first in production in each salar and who extracts the brine from whom. So you can see that coming in the near future. Argentina as a jurisdiction is it's okay at the moment. We just had a change of government, so Peronists are back. Mr. Fernandez is the new president of Argentina, and we are expecting a benign investment initiative from the government. They have already said that they will throw the full backing into lithium, which is very good. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything different. We're only investing into the countries. So at the moment, lithium is in a growth phase and it's an investment phase. So that's what they should do at this time. So they will be pro-investment. On the other hand, we don't trust governments too much, so we have been very quickly to sign a fiscal stability plan, and they have been quickly to sign it and to grant it. So that means that the taxes for our project will not change for the next 30 years. So new taxes can change, the government can change royalties, can change income tax, can change many things, but not for us, not for our project. The 3Q project, the Tres Quebradas project, it's a very large resource. It's so large that we have carved out an area which is a higher grade area to the north, and we're going to start processing our brine from there. So as you can see in the chart, we plotted here the companies that are in production in green. In blue you have some projects in the market, and in red you have us with 2 grades. So one is a high grade area, which we're planning to process for 35 years. So we're high grading the resource for 35 years, if you can say it like that. Or you can take the average of the salar, which will be much more than that, and then it will be sort of, instead of the second highest grade, it will be the 4th largest grade in the world. Why do you care about grade in lithium? You need to evaporate it. These are evaporative process. So the higher the grade, in general, the lower your surface for evaporation. So if I have to build ponds to evaporate and I have a high grade, I will need less ponds. So if you start from a higher concentration, you need to concentrate less. It's a very straightforward relationship. Now, you also have other elements like elevation, radiation, and sun, and temperature, and the best of all, wind. So wind is one of your strongest evaporators in a salar. So you want an area that is very windy, and then you will get a lot of evaporation. But you can plot by the grade and the region where every salar is, what the surface that you will need in order to evaporate it, and hence calculate the capex that you will need to evaporate that. That's what we have done for the market. So we said from the best salar in the world to probably the worst area in the world, which is what Silver Peak had to build in Nevada, which is an area that doesn't evaporate too much. You go from around 200 hectares to 8,000 hectares to be able to concentrate something. So just an indication of what could drive your capital cost in every project that is coming to the market. And again, you have in green the current producers and in black, in this case, the future producers. Then the other factor, so that drives your capex. The other factor that drives your investment is your OPEX. So how much will it cost to process and to get to a ton of lithium carbonate? OPEX in the lithium brine projects is driven by impurities. If you have impurities, you have to add reagents. Reagents help clean up all of those impurities. Then you can get to lithium carbonate. So on the left side, you have the sulfates, which are very easy to cancel. You just add lime, but it costs a lot of money to add lime into these many million liters of water. So it's a big cost. And then you have magnesium. To cancel magnesium, unfortunately, the cheapest way to cancel magnesium will make you lose lithium. So if you have a lot of lithium, you don't care, you just lose a little percentage. But if you have very little lithium, it will be difficult for you to cancel magnesium, so in a cheap way. So this drives your OPEX. So you can see from high OPEX to lower OPEX, where the current producers are in green, where we are targeting to be in the market, and where the other projects are. Again, for the geologists in the room, of course, we have done the 43-101. We published the resource. It's a massive resource, 35 kilometers long, 5 kilometers wide. What you can see in red is the high-grade area. So the quantities of the resource, the reserve, we have been very conservative with the high grade, and we can still produce for 35 years. So this is a very long life for a project. The location of the pump test and the drilling that we have done, just to show that we have studied the whole area. Just a picture of what the brine looks on site. So this is not fresh water, this is salt water, several times more saltier than the ocean. pH of 4, so there is no life, there is no bacteria, there is nothing in that water. So in general, it's a toxic water, really. So there are no birds, in case you're wondering. There is nothing that survives or lives nearby in this area. Of course, our mining method is extracting water. So you need to, when you do drilling, you not only do drilling, but you also do pumping tests. So every drill hole that we put is actually a twin hole, and then we pump between the two to see how productive these are. So we're very happy to report that our most productive well is around 100 liters per second. So that's very good. That means that we will only need 5 wells to put this into production. So it's a heavily saturated brine in the area. Very quick. So very quickly, we have already built our piloting ponds. We have tested the process. We built our piloting plant. Around 6 weeks ago, we produced our first batch of lithium carbonate that it's achieved already 99.1% on the first batch, and we're expecting to get to battery grade, which is 99.5%, so another 0.4 improvement within the next 2 or 4 weeks. So before the end of the year, we're expecting to make that announcement. Very quickly, our capex, $320 million is what we need to put this into production. And at today's low price, we're still returning an NPV of 1.1 billion. So this is a very profitable market at this low price, because we are targeting to be a very low-cost producer. So for the high-cost producers, not, but for us, it's a very good market. Our operating cost is 3,000. We sell at 9,000 plus. So we have a booth in D15. If you want any more details, I'm happy to give them to you and talk about the next stages in the company. But thank you very much.